Hello everyone, and thanks for having joined us, and welcome on our third webinar. I'm Rita and I'm here today with my colleagues Filippo, Simone and Riccardo. And let's start with the main topic of today. Last time we showed you on the first webinar the integration with our intraoral scanner and exocad chairside software. So basically we show you the main tools of the intraoral scanner and the perfect integration we have developed with exocad chairside. Despite that, we didn't see the last step of a digital workflow, the step related to the production with a DLP printer. So today we will face a complete workflow. We will show you how it's easy and fast to create an orthodontic model starting from a digital acquisition. We will start once again from the intraoral scanner, Aoral scan, because we would like to show you some tools that we didn't show you on the first webinar, like the AI tool or the motion control. And since we don't have any other type of real cases available beside Filippo's mouth, which, as you will see, doesn't need any restoration, we will show you the creation of orthodontic model on which, for example, will be possible to thermoform a bite or keep them in an archive. But this doesn't mean that the workflow cannot start in a laboratory by scanning a gypsum model using the desktop scanner such as our AutoScan DS-EX. After the acquisition, we will start the creation of the model through the dedicated tool from exocad, the model creator, to finish the demonstration with a time-lapse of the printing phase with our AcuFab D1. On the future webinar, we will work on different restoration and we will go in depth on both model creator tools and DLP printing AcuFab. So let's start with the Aoral scan. I'm going to pass the microphone to Filippo and I invite you to interact with us by leaving comments or send us private message. As usual, at the end of the demonstration, we will have time to question and answer, so stay tuned and enjoy the webinar.
Thanks a lot, Rita, for this great introduction. Here is Filippo, and I think we can start. Let me just try to switch on my webcam. Okay. Let's start opening the intraoral scanner software. As you can see, the interface is very similar to exocad, so we can have an example defining a job, for example, in this way. Inserting the name of the patient, it is possible to create a folder with the name of the patient, of course, and pressing save, we are ready to scan. Another useful function is the orthodontics. Pressing orthodontics, as you can see, is not necessary to define nothing in the mouth. We are ready to press save and scan. Okay, let's start with the upper. I want to put your attention on this button. This is the intelligent scan, and during the acquisition of my mouth, Simone will explain you this function. Let's start.
So thanks Filippo, and welcome everyone to this remote session. Let's talk together about the scanning experience in general. SHINING3D has developed a 3D scanning system with integrated rich data processing functions and intelligent data optimization in order to guarantee the user easy access to high-quality digital impressions. Through the use of the AI optimization, the software can automatically identify and delete miscellaneous data such as the buccal or lingual side in order to realize automated data optimizations. The intraoral scanning experience gets smoother and easier thanks to that function. And also, when some part some parts of the scan are missing, the user can jump back to missing area for rescanning. Let's say, okay, Filippo is going to do it, and the data will be aligned automatically by the software. So it's so easy to work with our device. We also provide a clinical toolkit that is available in our user interface. It can help user to evaluate the scanned data at clinic directly. This includes several functions as adjust coordinates, extract margin lines, check undercuts, and so on. And what's the target? The target is to improve the communication between clinics and dental labs while saving time, ensuring high efficiency and quality for design and restoration projects. I think that Filippo has done. Okay, go.
Okay, I want to show you also another function of the intraoral scanner that is called the motion movement. It's just necessary to do this movement 2 times, and as you can see, it's possible, for example, to proceed, or it's possible to rescan, or it's possible to do what the doctor needs. As you can see, I can, for example, check what I've just acquired. As you can see, I'm not using my mouse, but just the movement of the scanner. It's possible to, for example, to put in pause the acquisition, or it's possible, of course, to proceed with the lower arch. Okay, start with the lower.
So, while Filippo is performing the intraoral acquisition of his mouth, I would like to share with you additional info. Filippo has just explained how the motion movement works. In order to avoid the bacterial cross-infection, the scanner can be also piloted by a pedal that the user can find into the default packaging. In our first remote session 1 week ago, we shared the recommended PC configuration, and now I would like to provide some technical suggestions about the connections. First, the license dongle and the USB cable cannot be inserted to 2 adjacent USB 3.0 ports. Second, in case you have a wireless USB internet card, it should not be inserted into PC. That is because it occupies USB bandwidth, affecting the scanner functionalities. Then make sure that the PC is connected to the power supply when using the scanner. I think that I can go ahead. And let's talk now about the calibration. Once installed the software, 2 new icons are available on your desktop. Double-clicking on the intraoral calibration icon, the calibration tool opens. It allows to check the accuracy, to adjust the brightness, and to perform the calibration. It's recommended to perform brightness adjustment every 3 months. And the calibration process is recommended every 15 days, so 15 days. I would like to point out also that it's possible to acquire metal teeth into the patient's mouth. So in our user interface, there's an option for acquiring that kind of teeth, so metal made. Let's Filippo complete the acquisition. Okay, go.
Okay. We can have a look also to this point cloud that we have just acquired, and we can of course proceed with the occlusion. Okay. It's not mandatory, but if possible, it's possible also to acquire the other side. Okay. And that's it. Okay, this is the acquisition once complete. It's perfect without any holes on defects. I want to remember you that the gray part are just the part without the texture information, but the mesh is completely closed and regular. The software informed us that we defined an ortho restoration, so it's not necessary. It is not necessary to design the margin ring here. Okay, and once complete the acquisition process, we can proceed with the creation of the models in the Exocad model creator. Here we have the STL, so we are ready to proceed with the model creator. Okay, let's start opening Exocad. As I told you before, today we will see together just how to create the model base. In the future webinar, in the future live webinar, me and Simone will show you also how to create a model with a removable die, and we will see together in a more specific and deeper way all the function of the model creator of Exocad. But today, once again, I will show you just how to create the model basis. Okay, once charged the Exocad project, I can open the model creator. Totally automatically, Exocad import the STL that we have acquired. As you can see, here we have my mouth that we acquired a few minutes ago. Okay, I'm checking the surface, but as you can see, it's very regular and it's completely closed. Okay, here is possible to select which kind of model we would like to create. And I would like just to create a model without removable dies and have selected plateless with occlusal plane. If you want, it's possible to move the model in the space, but otherwise we can ask to Exocad to outline the upper and the lower in the middle of the two plane that we have in order to create the upper and the lower base. Okay, this is the step where it's possible to cut the parts that we would to remove. Let me check all around if there are some parts that is better to remove. I think that this model is fine, but just to show you, I can remove these parts, this part, and also a part in the left side like this. Okay, then delete. Okay, I think It's okay now. We can proceed. Okay, Exocad asks to fix the edge. Yes, it's possible to get a regular edge in order to create easily the bases. And here we are in the step related the base. So here, as you can see, there are a lot of parameters. First, I would like to show you the first result without modify nothing. And as you can see, this is the result once created the base, related the upper, of course. I can show you, for example, the horizontal margin in case, for example, I modify the horizontal and then I press run. Exocad will create a model with 1 centimeter of horizontal edge. Okay, as you can see, there we have 1 centimeter of extra measure in the horizontal direction. The ditch is related, the ditching, it's related just for the model with removable dies, but once again I will show you this function in the next webinar. Okay, related the lower arch, I can, for example, modify here. I would like to have a model with 1 centimeter of vertical surface. So this is the horizontal, and 0. For example, the 0.2 is okay, then run, and we should obtain a model with 1 centimeter of vertical surface. As you can see, is different than the upper. It's just to show you the function that we have to create the model base. Okay, we can proceed. And the last step is related the pins. So there are many different kind of pins that we can place on the models. In this case, I'm placing the pins called support pins. Is a generic pins, very useful for this kind of model, but of course it's possible also to simulate an occlusor with the pins library that there is in Exocad. Let me try to find a good position for the pins. I think that 4 are okay, not 5, so I'm deleting this one. Okay, I'm placing better the others, and we can press next. Okay, as you can see, in few minutes it's possible to create the basis in the models, so it's very easy to complete the digital workflow with the intraoral scanner plus the model creator, and of course plus a printer is possible to print this model. Pressing open, I can take the file that I've just created, and then I'd like to show you the software related, the DLP printer, the AccuFab. Okay, let me try to import the file that I just placed on the desktop. Okay, once imported the file, I can ask the software to place the model in the right in the center, in the right position, in order to print, in order to stay inside the print platform. And also is necessary to create the pins, the support, sorry, not the pins. Okay, now the software is creating automatically the support. Okay, and as you can see, here we have the supports. And of course, now we are ready to scan. About the supports, about all the function that we have inside the DLP printer software, about all the parameter and about all the tools that we have inside the AccuFab software, I will show you with Simone all this function in the webinar that we will have in the next weeks, and where we will show you the AccuFab plus the model creator with a focus related the model with removable dies. Okay, once completed the design in the DLP software, we can proceed sending the file to the printer. As you can see, I've created a time lapse of the printing phase yesterday because I would like to show you also the printing phase because I think it is important to have a clear idea of the complete workflow. So I've just charged the file that we have designed. I'm inserting now the printer platform inside the printer, and we are ready to press the print button. Let's start with the printing phase. Okay, ready. And as I told you, I create a time lapse of the printing phase, and during the printing phase, Ricardo can tell you some details related to the printer. Please, Ricardo, and thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Ricardo from SHINING3D sales team. So, in the meantime of the printing process, let's have an overview of the main features of the 3D printer AccuFab D1. First thing to be said is that our DLP printer is an open system, which means that it can perfectly work either with our own resins or third-party ones. Indeed, if you are already familiar with the features of one specific resin, which can be, for example, Bego or Nextent and so on, or if you still have stock of it, you can share with us the information of the resin you would like to use, and our R&D department will prepare the parameters to set the printing software and let you use your resin freely. Then, speaking of SHINING3D resin currently available, we are now able to provide resins for standard and orthodontic models, transparent resin for surgical guides, resin for gingiva mask, and castable wax. Another aspect I would like to highlight is the fact that, as well as our desktop scanners, our 3D printer is also made of modular components. This feature is particularly convenient for both maintenance and upgrade situations. Indeed, if a component of the printer accidentally got broken, or if a new and improved version of it is released, well, it will be way easier and more convenient to fix it or upgrade it. More specifically, resin tank, print platform, projector of the printer, all these components can be easily removed and replaced following the simple instructions of our customer care team. Last but not the least, let's have an overview of what are the possible applications we can have with the AccuFab D1. As mentioned above, we have resins for models, surgical guides, gingiva mask and castable wax. As you can see, by using these resins, a lot of many different applications can be created. Just to make some examples, the ortho resins, which is the official name of our resin for models, can be used both for orthodontics purposes and for standard models to create, for example, separated models with removable dies. In the same way, our transparent resin for surgical guide can be also used for bite and knife guards, not to mention the several different applications you can have by using the castable wax resin for production of partial wear, framework and offset copings.
Okay, thank you, Ricardo, once again. Here we have the result of the printing phase. Now I need to remove the models from the base, and after the post-cure process in the alcohol isopropylic and after 10 minutes under the UV light, this is the result of what we print. I have also taken some pictures of other models that I have printed during this week. And that's it. Thank you one more time for your attention, and if you have any question, we are completely at your disposal. Please feel free to ask what you prefer to ask. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. So thank you once again for attending this webinar. I hope you enjoyed what we showed you about the digital workflow, including the DLP printer, which is something that we didn't show last time. As mentioned by Filippo, we would be glad to answer to all your questions and doubts. So in case you have any question or you would like any aspect to be clarified, feel free to write your question here in the comments. What is the price of the 3D print? Well, then we can, Mr. Alexander, thank you for your question. If you provide your email and phone number, we will be glad to forward everything to our local dealer. So, as probably most of you know, Shining3D works with local dealers and resellers in all countries all around the world. So, yeah, for any information like that, you can get in touch with our partners. Very accurate and reliable printer. My clients are very happy with the performance and result. Thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal. It is always glad to receive such positive feedback. How is the time to print two models? Mr. Zecca, thank you for your question. It depends on what is the direction you decided to set. So we can print in the horizontal way up to 4 models in roughly 1 hour and a half, something less. Otherwise, between 10 and 11 models on the vertical, in the vertical position in 3 hours more or less. Then Filippo and Simone, my colleagues of the technical support, if they have any additional information, they can add it without any problem. What about resin for temporary by Mr. Tomer? Mr. Tomer, for now, we do not produce resin for temporary crowns, but as mentioned during the webinar, we are open to other possibilities, to other resins. So we can study different parameters to set the resin of other brands, like I said. The same direction. Mr. Zecca, yeah, the same direction means that if you put them in the horizontal way, all of them in the horizontal way, it's going to take 1 hour and a half, and 3 hours roughly in the vertical way. Then I don't know if Filippo or Simone would like to add any technical information about the printer. But I think that up to now we have answered to all the questions that...
Yes, Rick, I would like just to add
please.
some information about the time that is necessary to print a model. Depends on the thickness that you set. I mean, it's possible to set 3 different thickness in the software printer, and you can select 0.05 micron, or it's possible to set 25 micron or 50 micron. So Riccardo told you before the time that is necessary with the medium range, so the time that is necessary with 25 micron, but of course if you set 50 micron, the time that is necessary to print is less.
Thank you very much, Filippo. Another question by Mr. Tomer. Another issue, is there option to replace the film of resin tank? Mr. Tomer, we are about to release a new type of resin tank assembly module for which the film will be possible to replace it. Is it possible with intraoral scanner to scan plaster and make a crown on Exocad? Filippo, I think this is a question that maybe it can be good for you to answer?
Yes, of course. Yes, it's absolutely possible to scan plaster model without any kind of problem.
Yeah, we are aware of that, Mr. Tomer. That's why we are studying a new type of resin tank assembly module, and soon it will be possible to replace it. As we mentioned then during the webinar itself, it is a very good feature, the one of the modular components, the fact that the printer is made of modular components, specifically for these situations, because when you need an upgrade, when an upgrade is released, then you can freely upgrade your device without changing big situations on it. So that's definitely a good point of the printer itself. Then I think we still have some minutes. If there is any other question, we will be glad to reply now. If not, let me please just remind you that we are always available in our social networks, so here on Facebook as well as on YouTube and LinkedIn, of course, and then of course you can freely contact us in our emails at our email address, both for support and sales. So whatever you need, whatever kind of information you need, feel free to contact us anytime. Okay, I can't see any new question up to now, so I think we can still wait a couple of minutes. Then if there will be no other question, that, like I said, we will be glad to get back to you as soon as we receive messages on our social networks or on our emails, anytime you need. Just as a preview of what is going to be said in the next webinar, we will have the part 2 of this webinar, as you can imagine, where we will go in depth of the 3D printer, that technical aspects, technical features. So if you want to have more information from the technical point of view regarding the AccuFab D1, our DLP 3D printer, I would warmly recommend you to join the following webinars as well. Okay, I think that we can close the webinar here. I would like to thank you once again for attending the webinar and for your interest in our activities here on our social network. Oh, one last question. Okay. Is there any update for the firmware and the 3D DLP software? Which is the latest version? Do we need a polymerization lamp? Filippo, what can we say about these two questions?
So the last software release is the 305, and with the printer is not included with the printer a UV lamp. It means that you can buy the UV lamp on the market that you prefer, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you very much. Okay, let's just wait some more time to see if we have replied to all the questions, and then I think we can close. Okay, good. So once again, thank you very much to all of you. Did not hear anything from Filippo. Okay, Mr. Agarwal, we will reply you via email as soon as the webinar is closed, so that you can have a complete answer about your question. If you can hear me, what Filippo said is that well, we will share the detail of the latest software, no problem. Okay, so again, thank you very much to all of you. We hope to see you in the next webinar, and we wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us. I would like just to remind you the next appointment. The next one will be this Thursday with our colleagues from Far East, from China. They will go in depth on our intraoral scanner, and next appointment from us will be next Tuesday. So please follow our webpage, our Facebook page to keep you posted. And thanks once again for follow us and join us. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you. Thank you, and see you in the next webinar. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, bye. Thank you, bye.
Thank you. Bye.